Hey folks, today I wanted to give you a preview of New York Pizza Delivery, designed by Ron Rich and published by AirLoom Games on Kickstarter.
You're listening to the Beans and Dice podcast, a podcast about how we game.
Welcome to New York Pizza Delivery. It's an area movement game with variable player powers where you're going to pick up and deliver using cards where you set collect in order to provide orders, fulfill orders for the island of Manhattan, where players are going to have multiple orders on the board telling you where it wants to be delivered and what ingredients it wants on that pizza. Players are going to take turns either drawing cards from the marketplace in order to get these multi-use ingredient cards to bring into their hand, or they can take a turn to upgrade their pizzerias by either building new pizzerias on the island of Manhattan or upgrading any currently established pizzeria on the island of Manhattan, which includes upgrading by increasing the delivery range of each pizzeria on the island, or by increasing the range of ingredients that pizzeria is able to provide and deliver permanently. When you set up the game, you don't start with any pizzerias on the board. Players are going to start with a hand of ingredient cards that'll help determine where they want to start, because you're looking to collect sets of colors of the cards. Each color indicates one of the different villages on the island of Manhattan. In order to begin delivering pizzas, you have to establish a pizzeria somewhere on the island of Manhattan. What you're going to do is you're going to use your cards to collect a set of colors. You will discard a card to the sewers in order to establish a pizzeria on the board. You'll also pay the cost of that location. Each location has a different cost by moving your victory marker down on the track. Your victory marker is also your cost. You can also use cards from your hand as a 1-for-1 for $1. Once a player has established a pizzeria on the island, they can then begin collecting cards in order to fulfill orders that are being asked for on the board. You can use these cards in multiple ways. One way is to upgrade your pizzerias. So once you have a pizzeria established, you can discard a card of that color for that location. So for example, Hell's Kitchen is pink. I could discard a pink card in order to add an upgrade onto that pizzeria so that that pizzeria has a larger range. Each disc stacked on that pizzeria will provide one free space of movement on the board. So for example, this pizzeria has a range of 1, which will provide 1 space of movement for free. This pizzeria has a range of 2, has 2 discs on here to provide 2 spaces worth of movement for free. You could also use these multi-use cards to discard as an ingredient for a necessary pizza that you're delivering. So if you don't have that ingredient permanently on that pizzeria, you can actually burn cards from your hand to add those ingredients to that order in order to fulfill the orders on the board. You can also discard the cards to add movement to your delivery. So if your delivery from your pizzeria to the place where the order's requested isn't sufficient to get there, each card discard is going to provide you 1 more space of movement. Players can use these ingredient cards to also upgrade their pizzerias by finding the matching color of that pizzeria. So for example, again, Hell's Kitchen is pink. I could take a pink card and place it onto the pizzeria, adding that ingredient to the pizzeria as a permanent ingredient, meaning I don't have to discard that ingredient whenever delivering a pizza from my Hell's Kitchen location. Now my Hell's Kitchen location can reach other villages, so I can use those permanent ingredients to reach those locations. It's just going to be a farther distance, requiring me to discard cards again. As you play the game, you're going to be delivering pizzas to different locations that are requesting specific ingredients on their pizzas. When you successfully deliver to one of those locations, you're going to get the indicated value of that order, the dollar value of that order, plus a random tip token, which is going to be placed on each order. And those tip tokens range between $1 and $3 or victory points worth of value. You're going to take it, look at it, put it face down so your opponents don't know what that difference in value is. When you successfully order a pizza, you're also going to be able to take a power card. So this is where the game begins to give you variable powers. You're going to have power cards that you'll draw into your hand, and you're going to use those power cards to place them in different locations on your tableau. things that can provide financial upgrades or movement upgrades. You're gonna have one-time events, you're gonna have global events. You'll also have some upgrades that help you do things like shop better, find more ingredients, go into the discard to pull out ingredients, swap the ingredients on the marketplace. You can only ever have one type of power card on the board at a time. The power cards could also be discarded as movement or dollars if needed. The marketplace is where you're going to get your ingredients from. The marketplace starts with 5 ingredients face up plus a large deck of ingredient cards. Whenever a player takes a card from the marketplace and it brings the 5 face up cards less than 5, you will then immediately replace each one with a card from the market before drawing another. Whenever a pizza is successfully delivered, all the ingredients that were on that pizza become face-up ingredients available in the marketplace, because the market sees what the community is seeking pizza-wise, and they begin stocking those ingredients for the next players. You have a hand size of 10, so as you draw cards, you need to make decisions on which cards you're going to keep. That 10 hand size also includes your power cards. Players will continue playing in that order, deciding whether to upgrade their pizzerias, draw cards from the marketplace, or fulfill orders until we reach the bottom third of the deck. In the bottom third of the deck, you're gonna find these 3 health inspector cards. They're gonna be shuffled into the bottom third of the deck. In the bottom third of the deck, when the first health inspector card comes out, immediately resolve it, which means everyone pays a fine of $2 either from the board or from the cards in their hand. And finally, when the last and third health inspector card comes out, the game immediately ends. Endgame scoring is pretty simple. You're gonna get points for every card in your tableau, including power cards. You're gonna get points for each level of disc that you have on the board on your pizzerias. And then you're gonna add points for your tips that were face down. The player with the most points is the winner. So that's a preview of New York Pizza Delivery by AirLoom Games, currently on Kickstarter, designed by Ron Rich. If this interests you, recommend you check them out on Kickstarter. Their Kickstarter is currently going on. Ron is also called into our call-in show to discuss his design process and his philosophies, and he's willing to teach it to you on Tabletopia, which is how he reached out to us to talk about and show us his game. So I'm Carlos with Beans and Dice, and this has been a preview of New York Pizza Delivery by Ron Rich, published by AirLoom Games.
Thanks for watching the Beans and Dice podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe.